she's misunderstood now by a whole Western culture that doesn't understand Filipinas that much like I do. Blew my mind, 'cause I'm like, Monterey? Girls don't celebrate Monterey in the West. And she was so colleague. All money, kind of keep that to a low or make it non-existent. And don't come here too eager. Be the guy that end up in a relationship with the wrong one. This is what every expat needs to know when it comes to dating a Filipina. And I want to talk about some of the common pitfalls that you guys can avoid, because there are a bunch. And I think if you study these pitfalls, it'll help, because some of these are things that foreigners get mixed up with when it comes to dating a Filipina. They get confused and they'll put Filipinas in a certain category. And I want to talk about not doing that, separating from what you may have seen me talk about as far as all Filipinas being a certain way. It's not like that. But guys, without further ado, let me get right into this. Now, dating in the Philippines as an expat, it can be an exciting and rewarding experience. Now, it also comes with unique challenges, especially when preconceived notions, stereotypes, or cultural misunderstandings are involved. Many expats unintentionally undermine their dating lives by failing to adapt to cultural norms and expectations, and it leads to frustration and failed relationship. I'm gonna break down the key points to help you avoid common pitfalls, also how to develop meaningful connections. This is gonna help you understand the Filipino dating culture. Before delving into common mistakes, it's essential to understand the cultural context of dating in the Philippines. The Filipino society, it has a unique blend of traditional and modern values. It is shaped by its history, religion, and community-oriented lifestyle. The importance of family has a big part to play as well now, because Filipinos place a high value on family. And in many cases, a Filipina's family, they play a significant role in her romantic decisions. Impressing her family is as important as impressing her. Philippines is predominantly Catholic, and religious values often influence dating dynamics. Now, concepts like chastity, respect, and modesty may be important to some Filipinas, not many, as things have changed. Things are not as traditional as they used to be, but still, that may be something that your Filipina holds at the top of her list. Like my wife wasn't young. A lot of guys come here and get a very young Filipina. I was looking for someone my age, so my wife still held a lot of those traditional values and certain things that other Filipinas push to the wayside. The courtship and traditions play a big part. Now, while dating apps and modern technology have changed the landscape, traditional courtship practices like harana, that's like serenading, and what it is, or it's like serenading them or seeking approval from their parents. And that's what I had to do myself. Like, I had to talk to my wife's father and say to her, hey, I think I want to marry your daughter. And he said, yes, you can marry my daughter. But that may happen to you too. It may not, depending on the family relationship. There may not be something that's required, but still, it may be required. And a lot of you guys have experienced that already. So you may have to get the okay from the father. If not the father, say if he's not alive, maybe an older brother, uncle, somebody. There's going to be somebody in play that you have to talk to most of the time. But if that doesn't happen, then you don't have to worry about it. But Filipinos, they value harmony in relationships, and often avoid conflict. Filipinos, they hate conflict. Now, this means communication. It can sometimes be indirect, and that does lead to misunderstandings if you're not attuned to the subtle cues they do, right? Like, that's why Filipinos use tempo. That's their way of saying how they feel without saying how they feel and giving you all the attitude. That right there explains how the Filipino culture is. Not tempo, but using cues that way. You get what I'm saying? Some of the pitfalls expats face in dating Filipinas, they make mistakes that stem from a lack of understanding Filipino culture or their unrealistic expectations. Some of those are stereotyping Filipinos. One of the most damaging mistakes expats make is approaching with stereotypes. Now, some of those are like thinking all Filipinos are submissive. Filipinos, they're often kind, family-oriented, but this doesn't mean they lack independence or strong opinions. Now, or some guys will think, oh, they only after money. That could happen, especially a lot of you guys on the dating apps. Filipinos may rush you about money, but those are ones looking for opportunity. Of course they're about money. Now you have to think, economic disparity exists, but assuming every Filipino is after financial gain is often offensive and unfair. Why? Because a Filipino can make $20,000 a month, and that's more than enough. Yes, I repeat, $400, actually not 400 now, around 300 and some odd dollars is more than enough for her to do everything she needs to do for herself, for her to take care of her parents. Yes, stretching that money. Like, that's why a lot of times I say living like a Filipino, because when you get with someone that's a Filipina, she will help you learn yourself how to live like a Filipino. I did it for a year in the province, and I'm gonna do it again very soon. So I'll let you guys know about that. Thinking that only after money, and all Filipinos are looking for foreign partners. That's one thing that foreigners get mixed up, or some guys watching this right now may have that in their head, or they may be thinking, because I'll tell you like this, and there's some guys that are smart. Actually, a lot of you guys are smart, and you realize every culture that you're in is going to want their man, their Filipino, right? But I'll tell you this. That's why in the past I've said, boom, kick those doors down, break the door in, break in the window, simply by learning where you're at, where you're located at, learning the language. Because learning the language, and say you know Tagalog, right? You come in the Philippines and you're speaking Tagalog to Filipino, to a Filipina, she may not have been interested in the foreign in the past. For the fact that you come speaking the language, all doors get smashed in. Everything gets smashed in. She's comfortable. She starts thinking, wow, this guy took the time to get to know about my people. I want to know more. That's what opens the door. And then you may find, instead of like 10% of Filipinos, because that's around a number, but for the amount of foreigners come here, 10% of Filipinos want the foreigners more than enough. But instead of that number, it may open you up to around 40%. You have a bigger playing field, and it makes things more in your favor. Stereotyping, saying they're all looking for foreign partners, don't do it. Because not all Filipinos are interested in dating expats. Focusing solely on physical attraction. Now, they're often admired for their beauty, but reducing a relationship to physical attraction, it could come across as shallow. Genuine connections require effort, mutual respect, and emotional understanding. But I know how you guys feel. I'm not coming all the way out there and gonna get somebody ugly. I feel you, because sometimes you can know somebody that's extremely ugly and be like, man, I regret it, and look at them pass, and you got the wandering eye. So don't be the guy with the wandering eye. Get the one that catches your eye. One thing that can hurt you, ignoring the cultural differences. Now, failing to adapt to cultural norms, that's an issue. That's what I say to becoming Filipino, right? Now, one of those things is like not the importance of family involvement or misinterpreting indirect communication styles or being insensitive to traditions or religious practices or rushing the relationship. Now, some guys, they rush in relationships too quickly, driven by excitement or loneliness. And don't come here too eager, right? Because you'll be the guy that end up in a relationship with the wrong one. So you definitely don't want to be too eager anyway. This can lead to misunderstandings, especially in a culture where relationships are often built gradually, expecting instant gratification. I want you guys to try to build a meaningful relationship. It takes time. Now, expats who expect quick emotional or physical intimacy may find themselves frustrated, as Filipinas often value getting to know a partner before fully committing. Another big one, mismanaging finances. Expats willingly provide financial support without a problem, but sometimes that could be dangerous. It can, because you could be being used. So yeah, all money, kind of keep that to a low or make it non-existent, because you don't want to be involved in that. Guys provide, assuming that this is expected or required in a relationship. It just messes things up. And now, a relationship based on mutual respect, it shouldn't feel transactional, so keep that in mind. You approach somebody, forget about all of that. What I mean by all of that, forget about preconceived notions. Now, Filipinas, like anyone else, they have diverse personalities, preferences, and life goals. Yes, some Filipinas do want to make it, but it's night and day compared to how it is in the West. They want to make it to be able to provide for their family. They may come from a poor environment, and that's all they know. That's all they think of. Think about it. If you're poor, every day you're gonna think of how not to be poor. So that's where some of them are coming from. So you gotta get it. You have to understand. But also take this time to understand Filipino traditions, customs, values. It shows respect and it'll help you navigate more smoothly. Like one of the things I said, learn a language, that knocks down all barriers. Because once you learn the language, you start getting into the customs and you automatically start to learn certain things, so that helps. Filipinas, they use subtle, indirect communication all the time, more than a natural woman. Now, pay attention to those non-verbal cues and ask questions for clarity. Practice active listening, and that'll strengthen your connection. Also, please don't be the one that's the bad apple out of the bunch. Respect her family. Now, many Filipino families, the opinion of parents and relatives holds significant weight. I take that back to like when a foreigner, he brought a Filipino to the States, and he ended up bringing her mother and her father as well. Why? Now, think about it. Why would she have her mother and father there? To connect it. And what he did wrong, but he didn't realize it, was he was too much of a Westerner to mother and father, right? Now, they're used to somebody being kind, showing respect. He wasn't rude, but one day playing with the father, it's nothing. Take it, like having an attitude and doing little jokes and little side comments. And to the father and mother, they take it like disrespect. Why you disrespecting me? And now he's ready to leave her and calling her a gold digger when she's not a gold digger at all. She's mad because you disrespected her family. Of course she's gonna, well, the sad thing about that is now he thinks she's a gold digger. And then he went on TikTok calling her a gold digger, and as soon as I saw her, I saw the way she was reacting, I saw the way she felt, and I said, no gold digger. You took advantage of her kindness. Go talk to her instead of shouting out to the internet. Go downstairs and talk to that girl. He's going online and shouting this and shouting that. You gotta be careful because he put a bad look on her name. Everybody looks at her like she's a gold digger, and that's not even the case. So she's misunderstood now by a whole Western culture that doesn't understand Filipinos that much like I do, from being here in the Philippines and seeing so many different personalities. So now she has a bad name. Communication about your goals and expectations in a relationship is essential. Now, Filipinos, they do value honesty and sincerity. That works. That's why you gotta make sure your word is your bond. And when your word is your bond, you're good. Avoid flashy displays of wealth. It's natural to want to impress her, but extravagant gestures, it can send a wrong message. Now, Filipinos, they appreciate sincerity over materialism. Now, supporting your partner in a healthy, consensual way is fine. Avoid turning a relationship into a one-sided financial agreement. The biggest myth is Filipinos are only interested in foreigners' financial gain. This misconception is rooted in the economic disparity between expats and locals. While some Filipinos, now you do gotta watch out, because some Filipinos seek that. The majority, they're looking for love, respect, and companionship. They're looking to be so colleague, right? So remember that word, colleague, because that's what they're looking for. Another myth guys get mixed up is Filipinos prefer older men. Now, while some Filipinos, they do, or they may date older men due to perceived maturity or stability, this is not a universal preference. I've did so many interviews where 90% of the Filipinos said, I wouldn't date an older man. It just depends on if that's what she's used to or if that's what she likes. Many Filipinos, they value personality and emotional connection over age. So that's what's important. So if you have a good personality and you may not be older, you have a shot. Actually, you may have more of a shot because that's what they're looking for. Personality, funny, witty, and everything you do, you're yourself, that's what they want. Now, building emotional intimacy is just as important as physical attraction. Take the time to understand her thoughts, dreams, and fears. One thing you have to get used to, you have to. You have to keep it in your memory or write it down somewhere. Celebrating all the milestones you have in your relationship. Now, acknowledging anniversaries, birthdays, other special occasions that show value to your relationship. It can be monthsaries. When I first met my lady, happy monthsary. The second month, happy monthsary. The third month, happy monthsary. It blew my mind. I'm like, monthsary? Girls don't celebrate monthsary in the West. And she was so colleague, you just fall. When that happens, guys, always continuously look for the red flags. You have to find them. And I saw some at first. I saw, but it wasn't red flags in a bad way. It was red flags over love. And the love was too much, yes. That can happen. You can feel like it's too much. But let her know, I'm not used to this. It'll calm down. She'll chill. Avoid making assumptions about Filipinos based on stereotypes. Treat your partner as an individual with unique qualities and aspirations. Now, while it's important to be understanding, I say once again, don't overlook the red flags. Keep all this in mind, guys, and you'll be fine. Just remember those small things, but one thing don't forget, the monthsaries, things like that. If you're not into it, say, hey, I'm not into it. I celebrate the yearly anniversary. That's about it. Everything should be fine. But yeah, guys, that's my few things you need to look out for, and also ways not to generalize. Don't generalize, all right? Don't pit your Filipino you're talking to in a category just because of your past experience. But yeah, guys, thank y'all for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, smash that notification bell just to be sure you get them on videos as soon as I release them. Thank y'all for watching. See you next video. Peace out. Thank you for watching this video. If you like my content, be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Also, if you like my content, then go to my Buy Me a Coffee at buymeacoffee.com/JTBF. And there you can buy me a coffee, or you can book a consultation with me. I have consultations for a very small fee. Now at the bottom of this video, you'll see thanks there. You can give thanks and make sure your comment is highlighted, and you can give a small donation that way as well. Guys, in the description, you'll see other videos of my other content that's great as well. So you can be sure to watch my other content there. Thank you for watching. See you next video.